Like, is this how people like gist? You just see my very first time. Hey, people will just scramble. Bam. People want to hear things. What's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Celine. Welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I would truly and greatly appreciate it. It's the red button. It's either here or here. It's absolutely free. YouTube won't charge you, and I most certainly will not charge you. Come on, guys, subscribe. Like, I was going through my analytics and I found out that a lot of people who actually watch my videos are not subscribers. Like, please, guys, subscribe. Help my life. Help my YouTube career. Help me, guys. Please subscribe, and don't just subscribe. When you subscribe, click the bell beside the subscribe button so you can always get notifications on when I post up a new video, because a lot of times I post up videos and people don't get to, or people don't see or know that I have posted until maybe they come on YouTube and check, or one thing. So please be sure to turn on the bell button that is beside the subscribe button so you can always get notifications whenever I post up a new video. And to my OGs, like, you guys are the real MVPs. Thank you guys so much. I see you, I love you, I hug you virtually. Like, y'all are like awesome, y'all are bomb. Thank you so much for always coming back to support my channel, for your lovely comments, for everything. I really take everything to heart and I appreciate you guys so much. Anyways, guys, on to the video for today. So today's video I know some of y'all read this topic and you were like, okay, let's see what she gotta say about her first time. Guys, get your mind out the gutter. Stop being dirty. Like, is this how people like gist? You just see my very first time. Hey, people will just scramble. Bam. People want to hear things. Anyways, if I'm talking to you, hi. But anyways, guys, get your mind out the gutter. This is my first time tag, so I am going to be asking I'm so sorry. Yes. So basically I am going to be answering questions here, so questions from my first time tag. So let's get into the video. Okay, guys, so honestly, these questions are actually much. Like, there are a total of 56 questions, so I am going to speedily rush through these questions, so this video is not long. But anyways, yeah, so let's get in. First app you check when you wake up in the morning. First app I check would have to be Instagram. Yeah, I think Instagram is the first app I check when I wake up in the morning. After getting done with my prayers and whatever I need to do, I think Instagram is my first app. Question 2, first broken bone. I don't remember. I don't think I've ever broken a bone where they have to put me in a cast. No, I've never broken any of my bones before. I don't think so. I've dislocated, but I've not broken. Question 3, first foreign country you ever visited. I have never visited any country like Niger. I've been in Nigeria since I was born, but hopefully by God's grace, our Lord willing, once this coronavirus ends, hey, hola, I will carry my bag and I will travel. Hey, God help me. I am so going to travel, hey, by God's special grace, from my mouth to God's ears. But yeah, I have never been to any country outside Nigeria. Even come on, Ghana, I never go. Hey, God help me. Ghana will be our backyard. God will help me. I'm going to travel after this coronavirus by God's grace. 4, first Instagram, Twitter, or how am I supposed to remember this one? First Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook post? I don't remember. I don't remember when I posted. I don't even remember what I posted, let alone when I posted. I don't say. Question 5, first makeup item. My first makeup item. I think I can't really remember that well, but I would say my first makeup item would have to be like lip gloss, and that was like when I was like in secondary school. So I think that would be my first ever makeup item would have to be like lip gloss. Yeah, so lip gloss. Question 6, first plane ride you ever went on. The first plane ride I ever went on would have to be like then when I was much younger, when I used to live in Akwa Ibom, in Eket precisely. So my dad used to work for Mobile, so they had this like airline, they had like these mobile planes. So I would think that I'm pretty sure that was like my first ever air trip or air travel. So Question 7, first time I ever got into trouble at home or at school. I can't remember. I know I got into a lot of trouble when I was much younger. I can't really remember what. I remember I had insulted my mom. Sister would be chasing me around with cane. Hey God, I know I was troublesome when I was much younger. So first trouble I ever entered in school, I can't remember. I know I've entered. The one that is actually off the top of my head was then in secondary school. They never used to allow like cell phones into our school. So one of my friends actually brought a cell phone into school, and I think I used it to call my mom. I wasn't feeling fine also. So I used it to call my mom, but somehow, I don't know. My mom now, I don't know what my mom see good. My mom see now. Eventually, they caught us, and I think they suspended me and my friend. But that was in secondary school, so that was like I didn't talk to my mom for like a whole week. Like I was so vexed. I was vexed with her. I'm like, you know that this thing is illegal. I don't even know what, honestly. But yeah, that was the first time I think I entered trouble in secondary school. Question 8, first time you were allowed to put on makeup. I was never allowed to put on makeup. Like my house is like a deeper life house, so putting on makeup even up till today, sometimes my mom will just look at me. She'll not be like, I don't like this makeup, Joy. It's not fine. So, but slowly and surely, as I've become an adult, she hardly even says anything. All she just says, "Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's not fine. It's fine. It's not fine." So, Question 9: first YouTuber you subscribed to. I can't remember. I swear, I can't remember. It's been a long time. Like I've been on this YouTube for quite some time, so I can't really remember who the first YouTuber I subscribed to was. Question 10: first time you went shopping on your own. I can't remember. But I know it was to Balogun Market, The first time I ever went shopping like by myself was to Balogun Market when I think I went to buy a dress or something like that. That was quite a long while ago, but yeah. I can't even remember when exactly that was, but yeah. Question 11, my first boyfriend. I know this is the question people are waiting for. Okay, so my first boyfriend was in secondary school. That was in like my SS2 SS1 or SS2 thereabouts. That was when I had my first relationship. So so it was all the puppy love now. Nothing, it was just puppy love. So question 12, my first car. Hey, I have not bought a car yet, although I drive the family car. The car mainly, I'm the one that mostly drives the car, so I would consider that as my first car, but it's actually the family car. So I've not like gone out and bought a car and say yes, this is my ride. So the family car is like my car. So yeah. Question 13, my first celebrity crush. Hey, I think it would have to be Justin Timberlake. Abby? I think so. That was like my first celebrity. I think that was my first Justin Timberlake. Like, I was so obsessed with Justin Timberlake then in secondary school. Like, hey, I had all his like albums, like every day. Like, even up till now, he's still hot in my eyes. But yeah, he's married. So that was my first celebrity crush. My first cooking experience. I can't remember this one because right from time I've always been one who loves to cook. Like sometimes I'll just enter into the kitchen and just go and experiment. My mom's even shout for me, go out of my kitchen, blah, blah, blah. So I've always been one to want to experiment with cooking. So I can't really remember the very first time I went into the kitchen to go and cook. But I've always been an experimenter and I love entering the kitchen. So yeah. My first crush. I think my first crush would have to be like my secondary school boyfriend then. I can't think of any other person who was my first crush except him. So my first ever, I've answered this one. My first ever cell phone. Ooh, my first ever cell phone. That was a Nokia 3310. I can never forget that phone. No, was that the ringtone? Hey, I can't remember. What was it? I know that it was a Nokia 3310. So that was my first ever cell phone that I ever got. And I used that phone till, my goodness. My first ever date. Hey, I don't think I've ever been on a date though. Unless maybe if you consider like going out to like movies to watch a movie, maybe a guy just says, how far, what's up, what are you doing? Would you like to come out? I want to take you out. Oh boy, I can't remember my first ever date. If it's something like that, I can't remember. My first ever kiss. Oh, some of these questions are kind of repeated, so I'm just jumping. My first ever kiss, that would be like my secondary school boyfriend. That year, all this puppy love kiss. But anyways, yeah, that was my first ever kiss. My first fear. I don't know what my first fear. I think cockroaches or no spiders. I think that was my first fear. Spiders. I don't like spiders. But it's not a fear anymore for me. But when I was much younger, that was like my first fear. I think spiders. My first friend in college. Hey, my first friend in college. College is like high school, right? I mean, are they the same thing, or is college university? Anyways, my first friend in secondary school or in high school was Edidion Edward. Hey girl, if you're watching this, hi. We're still best of friends up till today. But yeah, even though we don't see so much, but yeah, she's still my boo thing. So Edidion Edward was my first friend in secondary school. Then in university, I think my first friend will have to be my cousin because we were virtually together 24/7. So my cousin was my first friend in university. My first heartbreak would be my first boyfriend in secondary school. Yeah, he left me for somebody else. So, yeah, that was my first heartbreak. Also, and the person was my good friend. Hey, God. Like, she was a good friend of mine. But anyways, it's past, I beg. I've moved on. Tete. My first Instagram post is repeated. My first internet activity, I can't remember. Okay, so the next question is my first job. My first job would have to be when I was an intern at Exxon Mobil. Yes, I worked at Exxon Mobil at one point in my life. So yes, that would have to be my first job. My first job was at Exxon Mobil. I worked in the laboratory of Exxon Mobil. Most of you don't know, I actually am a trained medical lab scientist. Well, yeah, kind of moved on to something else to make up. So yeah, my first job was at Exxon Mobil as a medical lab scientist there, as an intern medical lab scientist there. 27. My first language is, I would say, English, although my mother tongue is Igbo, but I mostly speak English, so I would say my first language is English, but my mother tongue is Igbo. My first love, same thing as my secondary school. Would you even call that one love, safe? I don't know, Jerry. Puppy love. So I would say that was my first love. Abi? I would say that was my first puppy love. My first pet. My mom used to gist me then that we had this cat that I loved so much. So I would say my first pet would have to be that cat, even though I can't remember. Like, hey. So yeah. Funny thing, guys, this is like a little secret, but my mom used to tell me then that sometimes I'll be looking for this cat to breastfeed the cat. I'm like, Jesus! Like what? Like, I don't understand. With which breast safe? Oh my goodness, children are hilarious, man. Like, when she told me this, I was like, like, I don't understand. Waiting. I didn't even have nipple, let alone breast, to come and be God. Oh my God. Next question. My first piercing and when I got it. I don't have any piercing. I don't even have an ear piercing. Like, my ears are not pierced. I don't have any piercing at all on my body. So yeah. My first swear word. I can't remember when I used my first swear word though. I can't remember, big. Next, my first tattoo. Hey, my first tattoo. Do I have any tattoo? I don't have any tattoo. I don't even know why I was thinking about that. Like, I don't have any tattoo. Why am I thinking? I don't have any tattoo, so yeah. Although I would like to get one though. I've been thinking of getting a tattoo, but later on, much later on, but for now, I don't have any tattoo. My first thought today. Okay, I think my very first thought today was like, thank you, Jesus, for waking me up. Then I think with that came like thanking Jesus for also healing the world from this coronavirus, and I think that was my first thought today. My first time on a plane, repeated. So my first time on a ship would have to be, I think that was in 2014. Yes. Well, was it a ship? I won't say it was a ship. It was more like a platform. Yeah, it was more like a platform. So then in ExxonMobil, we usually have to like carry out laboratory tests on like the offshore workers. So there was a time like we were going from platform to platform. I think at a point in time we even went to a ship. I can't remember though. But yeah, we went to a ship one time to actually do tests on some of the mobile staffs that are offshore. So that was like in 2014 when I first entered my first ship. That was actually the first time I entered my first helicopter ride, so it was quite scary because it kind of wanted to rain. So yeah, my first time on a train, I've never been on a train before. My first toy, I can't remember. My first tweet, I cannot remember. Still the repetition. My first YouTube video was in November of 2014 or November of 2015. I'm not sure. I will check my YouTube and put it here, but yeah, it was in November of either 2014 or 2015, and it was a YouTube tutorial. I'm yet to actually react to like my first ever video. That's one of the video ideas I've been wanting to do, so I'm going to do that quite soon, reacting to my first ever YouTube video. Oof, that's going to be hilarious. So my online profile picture, like the different social media platforms I'm on have different pictures. So I don't know. The first book I remember reading would have to be like the Bible. I think, yes, the Bible would have to be the first book I remember ever reading. I don't remember reading like storybooks or novels. The Bible would have to be the first book. Well, aside from the ones we used to read in school, the first book I know that yes I picked up would have to be the Bible. The first concert I ever attended, I think it was a House on the Rocks, The Experience. Yes, that was the first concert I ever attended. The House on the Rocks experience, the experience that they do every December. The first time I went for it, I think that was like in 2014 or so. Yeah, that was my first ever concert. The first movie I remember seeing, I can't remember, big. The first person I talked to today was my mom. I usually do that every morning. Like when I wake up, I go to her room, we talk a little bit, then we pray together, and stuff like that. So yeah. The first person that ever broke my heart, I think I've answered that question before. My puppy love, high school puppy love. The first person you text when something exciting happens. I think that would have to be my mom. Yeah, sometimes my mom, sometimes my brothers. It depends. Anybody can come to my mind, especially if it's somebody like that got me that exciting thing. I will probably text the person that got me the exciting thing first before my family. But most times it's like my family I tell, like, okay, see what happened. Yay! The first text I sent today, I've not sent any text message today. Although I've chatted with some people today, but text messages, no. The first thing I do every morning is pray. You gotta pray. You gotta commit the day into God's hands. So first thing I always do, I thank my Lord and personal Savior for even allowing me to wake up to see a brand new day. So yeah, first thing I do when I get home, it depends on how hectic my day was. Sometimes I would just lay down for a bit and later on get up and take a shower, and eat. So it actually depends. Like if I'm coming from sets now, if I'm coming from work, the first thing I do is sleep. Jesus Christ, because the stress that I undergo on set is always so terrible. So the first thing I want to do, I don't even want to do any other thing but sleep. So the first thing I know I do anytime I come back from set is sleep. So yeah, the first time you ever got drunk, I don't think I've ever allowed myself like get drunk. Tipsy, yes, but drunk, because I don't like that whole feeling of helplessness when you don't know your left from your right. The first wedding I attended, I can't remember. When did you go to your first party? I can't remember. When did you have your first sleepover? I've never had a sleepover before, like sleepover. I've never had a sleepover where you're like, oh, come to my house and sleep over. Now let's do a sleepover. Nah, I've never done a sleepover before. 55. First time I got a speeding ticket. I've never gotten a speeding ticket before in Nigeria. In Nigeria, I've never gotten a speeding ticket before because I like to take my time. I like to drive, although I can be fast sometimes, but I drive like a lady. Okay. And the final question is, first time I got in a fist fight. Hey, I don't think I've ever gotten in a fist, like boss bass. I'm not sure I've ever gotten to that point of exchanging blow with somebody. I cannot, I beg. No. In secondary school, I know I've gotten into a lot of verbal fights. So verbal fights, yes, but fist fights, I have never gotten into a like physical fist fight before. Nah, that's not my thing. It's not my style. So guys, this is my entire video. This is my very first time question tag. I thoroughly enjoyed this video, or I thoroughly enjoyed answering these questions, and I hope you did enjoy answering or listening to my answers. Now I'm going to be tagging all of you watching. I can't mention names. I am going to leave the questions in the description box for you guys, so check out my description box for all the questions, and yeah, please indulge me by answering this tag. I would love to hear your own very first time of these questions. So guys, please, if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell button just beside the subscribe so you can always get notifications whenever I post up new videos. Alright guys, this is my video. Until next time, stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye bye.